Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. And if you're watching me live and happen to be on the East Coast, well, it's both figuratively and literally about 100 seconds to midnight. Well, what the hell am I talking about? Well, it really is about 100 seconds to midnight if you're watching this live stream because we do it live. But we just moved that much closer on the Doomsday Clock. The Doomsday Clock. That's been around for some time, that's warned us of nuclear disaster. Yes, Armageddon. And in 2018, it had crept up to 120 seconds to midnight. Obviously, midnight is doomsday. But as we're going to explore here, well, it's now moved to 100 seconds to midnight, which is the closest point since 1953. If you take a look at this, and here's the Doomsday Clock chart, 1953, and now here we are. Now, if you notice, in 84, I'd say 85, 86, 87, we were also almost on that tier. And honestly, guys, that's that generation that I keep telling people about, that some people doubt me, that I was doing duck and cover drills because the fear-mongering was very real. In fact, I still remember watching that movie The Day After with Steve Guttenberg after this nuclear Armageddon that they all kept us pierced with fear about, okay? This mutual destruction. So the Doomsday Clock itself is this tool, in my opinion, to keep the populace in fear. I do not believe that this consortium of scientists are truly warning us of real Armageddon. So I thought I'd have fun with this. Now, number one, this was utilized in what was a very revolutionary comic book at the time that was brought up in the mid-'80s, published in 86, 87, a limited run, still, garnered as one of the greatest comic books of all time, guys. And we're not only going to review that in a sense, because I haven't read that in a while, but we're going to review the movie that was based on the comic, which, if you haven't seen The Watchmen, I still think it's DC's best comic book movie by far. It far surpasses even any of the Batman movies. And, even the ones like the original that I liked with Jack Nicholson. I mean, it is intense. So we're going to go over that and why that's important. And then the new HBO series, because really it was before its time. It was talking about large issues such as, corporations being in the background, pulling the strings, false flags. All right? Flick off, thank you so much for that $10 super chat. So at the end of all this, if you've got an opinion on The Watchmen, if you think I got it wrong or you want to add something, both to the movie and the HBO series, because the HBO series was absolutely fantastic. In fact, I thought I was going to hate it, especially in the beginning, because it played a lot on race, and I hate the race card. But not only did it do it in a super intelligent manner, by the end of the series, you realize that the race issue is really only being used to divide people and divert people on behalf of that predator class trying to take advantage of all of us. So, spoiler alerts, we're going to go through the whole thing right now. And again, I can't tell you how revolutionary this was and what the Doomsday Clock meant to the Watchmen. You see, in the very beginning, in Chapter 1, the Doomsday Clock is set at 15 minutes to midnight, and it keeps creeping forward. And it's set in this universe, if you will, in 1985, where Richard Nixon is the president. They don't exactly, tell you how these multiple term limits are going on, but there's been these vigilante groups that have been promoted, these superheroes. Now, they don't have really superpowers. The first ones are the Minutemen in like a pre-World War II era, okay? And then through World War II, it begins to morph. And then this modern version is the Watchmen, but the Watchmen themselves have basically been outlawed by 1985. They're credited with helping win the Vietnam War. Okay? So all of this geopolitical stuff is huge. And this group of the Watchmen, which comes after the Minutemen, does have the first actual superhero by accident. So let's talk about the incarnations in the movie. Because the movie, we're going to talk about some of the differences and why they're important, is very close to the book. In fact, it pretty much used the book as its basis. Instead of going to, now I'm going to forget it. It's not drawing boards. I feel like an idiot. But, it used almost shot for shot in some cases. All right, so you have the comedian there on the left-hand side with the mask, the guy smiling. Now, he happened to also be a member of the Minutemen. And he's this character that you find out is a rapist. Okay. He actually rapes the girls there on the left's mother at one point. But then she goes back for more. And actually, she ends up being his daughter. It's like one of the big plot twists. All right. Again, spoiler alert, we're going to give it all away. But none of these people really, again, she's generationally a hero. He himself, the comedian, is pretty much just given a mask. I mean, in the opening credits of the film and in the book, he's the assassin of JFK. And by the way, the opening credits of that film, I would put against just about any movie out there. They're absolutely incredible. Zack Snyder, when he's on, man, he's on. So then we go to the Blue Gentleman, and that is Dr. Manhattan. He's the only one with powers. And Dr. Manhattan is kind of this character that's a scientist. And as the movie progresses, he more and more loses his humanity and becomes indifferent to the whole thing. And he can make multiples of himself, can create life, do all sorts of things that obviously human beings cannot, and is the closest thing to a god that the rest of us will know. And it was really him that, helped win Vietnam. Then we got Ozymandias. Now, Ozymandias is, again, this corporate person in the background. Now, Ozymandias, they allude to him not only being a homosexual, but in the movie, there's actually a still scene where they're looking at his monitor, and there's a folder called Boys. So, you know that he's quote unquote a homosexual, but is he also a child molester, a pederast? It's definitely alluded to in the film. And then you have Night Owl here, and he's supposed to be like the schlubby Batman-esque character that just can't get it right, wants to do good, but he's just kind of accepted, he's moved on, and realizes when he needs to keep his mouth shut, I guess. And the one person missing there is Rorschach. Okay? And we'll talk about these people wearing the Rorschach masks in the series. But Rorschach is really the moral compass of the group. Okay? Now, at the same time, is he homophobic? You bet he is. Is he psychopathic at times when, he kills people? Yes, 100%. But he's the only one that goes by any moral standard throughout the whole story. And let's break down a 3-hour story for you. So one by one, the Minutemen and the Watchmen are being picked off. Why? Because, and again, spoilers. Ozymandias has decided that he is going to pull a false flag so that he can stop nuclear war, the Doomsday Clock. Russia and the United States basically doing that. And in doing so, he kills 3 million plus people. Now, in the movie, I think it was smart. Instead of a giant squid, yes, a giant squid, an EMP pulse, they just do the EMP pulse and it wipes out a big number of the population. Okay? And we'll get to that in a moment. But in the book, they have it as a squid, and that's kind of important in the series, because in the series they play that angle up a little bit more. But at the end of the day, Rorschach, this person who they've portrayed as a psychopath, but again, it has the only moral compass out there, he refuses to go along with the plan and just shut his mouth. Night Owl says he will. He'll go along. He's not going to challenge him. And Dr. Manhattan, who's kind of become indifferent and thinks that Ozymandias overall did the right thing, kills Rorschach. Just kills, the one guy that stood up for everything. Now, the twist is, at the end of the film and the book, Rorschach had kept a journal. And the journal gets into the hands of a journalist. So now it's in the hands of a journalist whether or not the truth can be told. And that's the end of the story. Now, Alan Moore, I believe the other one's David Gibbons, they kind of left the project after that. Now, I think that HBO brilliantly picked it up because a lot of people say that that's a Rorschach test, right? Are you with Ozymandias, who was willing to sacrifice millions of people in order to stop the Doomsday Clock and the Russians from killing everybody? No, I'm not. I mean, those are the type of things that our government does in Syria, or maybe even here. 9/11. So, is that a justification to you? It was never for me. And then the one person that did decide that they would not shut up, that they would stand up, that they would show the evidence, that they would out these people, he's killed. Dr. Manhattan then supposedly leaves and, goes to Mars to create life, but they go with a slightly different version in the TV series, okay? And some people say, well, maybe you're gonna side with Ozymandias, maybe you're gonna side with Rorschach, maybe you're totally indifferent like Dr. Manhattan, maybe you'll go along to get along like Night Owl. Obviously, I'm a Rorschach guy. He's not perfect. Far from it. But he's the only one that stood up for the truth. And what do you get for? You get splat at the end of the movie. Now, in the book, it is slightly different. Again, there's slight differences. And the Black Freighter side storyline, which is a comic within the comic, is also omitted from the movie. And then they reinserted it in like a supercut, or you can watch it separately. So now let's talk about the series itself, the HBO series. So it starts off with a real historical event that I didn't know of because, again, that timeline goes up to a certain point with the same history where there was basically, a race riot lynching where an entire black community was slaughtered by the Ku Klux Klan. Oof, very tough. And then you fast forward to now, kind of like, it's not 1985 anymore. Everything's modern. But, in the book, there was some pseudo technology and it came through. Where you have a police force which is covering their faces and a police force which has these vigilante types, all right, that aren't known. And basically this police state where you can just round people up. And then the rebels are this Rorschach group, but they're painted up as white supremacists. So through the entire thing, Rorschach's message really didn't get out there. The truth never got out there. I don't want to spoil the ending for people on this, but it's a lot different. Instead, Rorschach was distorted into some white supremacist. And believe me, I think there were some parallels there with what's going on with Trump and the MAGA crowd, and really how a lot of people who I think were pretty awake at the time have been co-opted by this Make America Great Again red pill network that is beyond limited hangout at this point. I mean, it's worse. They're covering up war crimes. They're not talking about the OPCW. They're talking about Russian propaganda at the UN. See my video on that today. So, first of all, I can't recommend The Watchmen enough. Go watch the director's cut. You want to see the 3-hour plus version, 3-hour, 6-minute version. It's fantastic. And then, they did everything right, in my opinion. Showing how, they had Robert Redford as the president. They, instead of reparations, they called them Redfordations for certain areas of these lynchings. It was brilliant. And they used 9 Inch Nails on the soundtrack. It was really top notch. So let's see, guys. I'm gonna go into your questions and comments, and if there's any good ones in there, we'll talk about them. So you got something to say about The Watchmen, this video, the channel? By the way, thumbs it up. Subscribe if you're new to the Burmis Brigade. We just broke down The Watchmen TV show and movie very briefly because of the Doomsday Clock that was being hyped up. But again, in the 80s, that was very real. Nuclear war was close again. Read the comics as they came out. Loved the movies and series. Drufus, they're so good, right? I mean, I would say that The Watchmen, other than Sin City, is just about as perfect a comic book movie as you could get. Sin City, the second one, you know, it's not terrible, but it's not the original. Sin City did a great job, panel for panel, storyboard. That's what I wanted to say earlier. I mean, they used the comics as storyboards for an amazing movie. MF Doom Villain says same. See, this is my generation here. Hey, Flick and Doom, good day, folks. YouTube is tripping. Numbers are funny all week. Whatever, man. We're going to push forward no matter what. Yeah, what the fuck? Hey, man, it's fine. If they want to try to cripple this channel, I just want to let people know. That's why everybody's been asking me, oh, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Well, I'm transitioning a little bit. We got the Rockfin where it's getting one exclusive video 5 days a week. We did one on Harvey Weinstein and the latest there. And it's $9.99 a month if you want to see the premium content, but we're putting other stuff up there as well for everybody. And for $9.99, you don't just get Jason Burmes's content. You get Jordan Burroughs, Ben Askren's, Chael Sonen's on there, Nico House, Ron Placone, Graham Elwood, and others. All right, so let's continue. So remember, we're talking Watchmen here, guys. Storyboard. Oh, there it is right there. Loved Watchmen. HBO, the big hoax, the racism, gun control, a strange glimpse into an alternate reality. Exactly. And even Ozymandias continuing the hoax, where supposedly it was an interdimensional squid that took over, right? And now it's raining these mini squid to keep the people in line. And remember, the government goes along with it. They never out him. Love the movie as well. Great cast. Agreed. Mid-'80s small comics explosion was the best era ever. I luckily worked at one of New York City's biggest shops back then. Oh, that's awesome, Drufus. What does it mean, Jason? What does it all mean? Well, it means, again, that this movie/series is a great glimpse into how things really work, how corruption really works, how the truth is really distorted, how those in power are willing to, crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Remember, the ends justify the means. Do as thou wilt, man. Do as thou wilt. That's how they roll. That's what it means. Joe Sale says hi. He says, hey guys, hello. Doomsday thing is so confusing to me. I'm so confused. All right, so if we want just a real quick review of what the Doomsday Clock is, all right. So throughout the years, ever since we had the bomb, a consortium of nuclear scientists, atomic physicists, and others have gotten together and said how close the clock is to midnight. And that was like one of the big themes in The Watchmen. That's why we talked about that, Action for Assange. And by the way, guys, if you see Action for Assange over there, you want to go subscribe to that channel as well. All right? And the Doomsday Clock moved to 100 seconds to midnight back in 53. See, you still kind of heard about it in my era. I'm a 40-year-old guy. And when we were in school, they would talk about this sometimes because, again, you look at it, 84, 85, 86, 87. I want to say the day after was 1983 or 84. We'll do it live. The day after. Not the day after tomorrow. Oh, gee, come on now. Come on. Why would I want that, Google? Why'd you add it? There it is right there. 1983. So, this is the kind of stuff they were showing in schools. All right, let's continue. Long time ago. I know that makes me a boomer, except for I'm not actually a baby boomer. That's the greatest generation. That's the World War II generation. Who watches The Watchmen? Indeed. Still have my pin set from 1985. Love it. Love it, Drufus. I'm not locked in here with you. Y'all are locked in here with me. That's right. What up, Action for Assange? Nobody watches The Watchmen. We try. Listen, I was listening today to the Opperman Report, and he had Steve Hoffenberg on. Wow, what a great interview. I mean, he's done some really good stuff in the past, but what a great interview. Action for Hassan says, what up to Drufus? Flick off says, LOL. Hey, bro, the book is exactly like the movie. All the pictures in the comic scenes, even the background music. Well, obviously, the background music can't be the same, but the book, again, there are some nuances. There are some differences, but boy, oh boy, did they do a great job. Comedian was a piece of crap, but a great character. Well, again, it shows that conundrum. Like, not only is comedian a total piece of shit, right? Total disregard for human life. I mean, you could liken him to some of the characters that are portrayed in Full Metal Jacket, right? Just killing, especially in that Vietnam scene where he kills basically, this woman who thinks that, the baby is his, and he just kills him. But then you see Dr. Manhattan's humanity slip away. Brilliant scenes in there. But again, the comedian being that piece of crap character and even abusing that woman, she went back for more. And that speaks to society. Hate to say a honest truth that's uncomfortable, but a lot of girls, they love shitty fucking dudes. They like abusive guys. They gravitate towards those people. So again, this comic book, this film, and now this series remain as relevant, if not more relevant than ever. So let's keep going if there's anything else. Oh, we got a jump. We had a big jump. Let's see. All right, there we go. Thank you, Crystal Anderson. Hey, Drufus, happy Chinese New Year, Brigaders. Hey, yeah. Right, happy Crystal, happy Lunar New Year. All of us have been co-opted on one level or many. Hey, listen, by the way, I saw somebody making a comment about me still watching UFC and how I'm a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites, and I'm an open hypocrite. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you all about it. None of us are perfect. Let's see. They have hijacked the alternative media. They really have. The alternative media is trash in most cases now. And I'm not trying to trash anybody individually, but, people, again, that think there are superheroes in message boards and shit. It's not a reality, okay? Did you all see what Brian at High Impact said about SGT report? It was good. Someone did send me that, and I did see some of that. And look, here's the deal. SGT report every once in a while, I don't know if they still, I don't go there, but they, every once in a while we're, putting some of my stuff up there, or We Are Changes stuff up there as almost like an aggregate. And the thing is that he's right, because they do push a narrative and they do have a lot of power. And it shouldn't ever really get personal, okay? To me, this stuff doesn't get personal unless someone takes it personal to me or personally lies about me or something like that. I don't spend that much time on it. But just the fact that so many people are believing in things that have to be decoded, listen, that's not what we do here. You got to give me evidence. We got real documents to read. That's why the OPCW stuff is so powerful. It's not a message board. It's real WikiLeaks. All right. And by the way, with Action for Assange here, we did the OPCW video, and we opened with what's going on with Julian Assange in Belmarsh and how this really still matters. And it's creeping up that he's going to have that hearing in February on extradition. So, man, a lot going on. All right, so Drew, long time no see. Whoa, someone redacted something. In terms of words and spells, you should hear yourself, babe. Watchmen and Sin City, a good thing. Sin City is... I love Sin City. I thought, listen, the comic book's brilliant. Frank Miller really does it right and gritty. The right level of cartoon noir. I don't know. My thing, guys. My thing go. Maybe not yours. When is True Detective 4 Pedo Island coming out? I'm waiting for, as soon as there's an announcement for True Detective 4, then I'm also going to have to spend some time taking 1 through 3, rewatching them, and doing the video I've promised where I tie all of them together. And I will definitely be doing that because I owe a lot to True Detective. True Detective last year in February, when I started to relaunch this channel on Valentine's Day, is what helped motivate me to resurrect the channel and now eventually go on my own. So make sure you're thumbs up, subscribing, guys. Check and make sure you're subscribed. Hit those notifications. They're probably not going to give them to you anyway, but we do it live. We do it live, whether it's 100 seconds to midnight or sometimes later. Let's see. Ray did a disservice, but exposed Sean Petty's attacks on someone. Oh, okay, so that's more of that. Movie schmovies just can't anymore. I haven't gotten any notifications. Karunster, same, and I usually do every day. Listen, I really think that they're holding back. You got to star. Here, this is what you do. Forget about the notifications. Just come back and check. You know, chances are if you check by the afternoon, I'm going to have something. It sucks that you can't come live, but I hit that star button. You can hit that star button. I mean, don't you want to know if Trump's going to let Conor McGregor make America rape again? By the way, I know a lot of people thought that that was a conspiracy theory, that Dana White would have called Trump to get him into the country. Let me show you something. We'll be adding this into the documentary. If you think that that's really out of the realm, okay? If you think that that just couldn't be even a possibility, Dana White would never be able to call Trump, and Trump wouldn't get that rapist McGregor in. Jason Burmis has gone too far. He's gone too far, damn it! All right, well, guess what, guys? You don't think Dana White would... By the way, this is the Mac Life. I just want everybody to know this is the Mac Life because Darren Till's under similar management, okay? Darren Till had some legal problems. Darren Till, just stop it right there. Darren Till decided to steal a cop car with his buddies and go joyriding. But get this, because again, Dana White wouldn't ever call Trump to get, you know, a guy who's got 2 rape investigations open in the country in, would he?
I don't know. I can't even explain it because I'm waiting next door at the embassy in London, and it's just every day that going by is I don't know if I'm getting a visa, and I know that Dana and the guys, they had everyone. I think Dana spoke to Trump about me. I mean, that's, you know.
Oh.
I didn't know.
So anybody who thinks that, you know, just I'm a wild conspiracy theorist and that isn't how he got into the country, well, I mean, a lot of people don't even know who Darren Till is. I do. I follow the sport. I think Till's a good and interesting fighter. Decent striker, needs to work on his wrestling a bit. Maybe doesn't need to go as hard with guys. I remember when I called him beating Cowboy, actually, when he beat Cowboy. That was a real fight. He actually starched Cowboy really quick. And Cowboy didn't. I should show that fight. My God. Should have shown that one too. But yeah, there it is. Weird. All right, let's see what else we got. Watchmen is a great movie. Still, maybe the best. I still think it's the best superhero movie overall. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the Marvel stuff. And even the Marvel stuff has done some really cool political stuff, like Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin character basically being an actor a la Bin Laden type, like a fake terrorist thing. That was pretty ballsy. There's some other stuff, but Watchmen is it. Oh, there we go. Man. Oh boy, we skipped a lot there. Word, spells, triggered, midnight, schmidnight, they're all jerks. These scientists moving the Doomsday Clock, go invent something we can use instead of fear-mongering. Thank you, Ray Skywalker. Dude, they freaked us out with the nuclear stuff. Yes, they did. Remember the movie Threads? Oh, man. Is that Threads Guerrera you're talking about by chance? Because I'm not sure, but maybe. Continued psychological manipulation of the zeitgeist. Correct. Fear-mongering for control is as old as religion. Correct. Boomer generation is after World War II. All the Triumphs came home and made babies. Well, that's what I mean. You're right. I said the greatest generation. They are the greatest generation's kids, the Boomers. I'm not a child of World War II. I'm a grandchild of somebody who served in World War II. That's what I meant, Gerard. Loving the on-screen comments. All right. Yeah, that's how we do it here. We do it live. We don't do it all the time like this. But, this way we take all the super chats as well. And we get a good conversation going with the audience. Music was actually in the comic too, Jason. Really? Wait. I'm talking about, you're talking, see, okay. Wait, so the songs were in the comic book that they used in the thing? Is that true? Because I know they had those big spreads, those like newspaper spreads as well. Interesting. I know that they refer to some of the music, but okay. I stand corrected. William Carstairs, Daddy Issues. Did she go back for more? I must have forgotten that part. Well, he tries to assault her, and it's stopped in the film, and then she does go back for more. That's like what it's alluded to. Read Stalking the Wild Pendulum. No one is perfect except for Jesus Cristo. AJ is a cucked and controlled by the deep state on handy soaks alone. I don't even know what that means. I hate using the term cucked. If it wasn't written, I wouldn't have. Let's show that, Toby Funk. Yes, you did hear me shitting on the alternative media. What else do we have? Did I skip over some? Suspicious observers. I don't know what that is. No one is... No one is a Jesus except the Big Lebowski. String Roba Amen. Movies are tulpsa, i.e. false realities. They're artwork, man. They're a reflection of society. Just like books are. Just like a painting is. I mean, it's art. Okay? And don't get me wrong. A lot of it is just like infotainment crap. And just like popcorn entertainment. But the Watchmen are deep. The deep, son. I don't know why you think Epstein is most likely still alive. I do not. We really like you, Jason. So much respect all day, every day. Thank you. This whole world is a false reality. Dun, dun, dun. Where's David Icke when I need him? Oh, see, it dipped down to 0 watching on my end, guys. It says 0. No, that's just you. God made us. He fooked up. Multi-dimensional theory of existence, very true reality. Yeah, if we're all going to go into this multi-dimensional thing, very true, maybe, but are we talking multiverse, multi-dimensional? Because I don't necessarily buy into that infinite realities and, we're going through this infinite amount of times and I'm kind of here, I'm kind of there. I'm the president somewhere, I'm in a jail cell elsewhere, I'm homeless, or I'm in, come on. And I think that takes away from our individuality. I think that takes away from the fact that we have free will and great power. Just saying. Read Stalking the Wind Pendulum. Pure gangsters. Everyone thinks they have the answer to existence. Hilarious. Yeah, I don't. Pizzagate has come back to life. And most Spanish-speaking speakers believe that English language speakers are ignorant. I saw something with the Beebs in that video. I watched the video. Very bizarre video, and there was some weird occultic stuff going on with like pillars and some other like maybe goddess stuff, but I don't know if I saw any pedogate stuff in there. Have you read Doomsday Machine, Diary of a Nuclear War Planner by Daniel Ellsberg? No, I have not, but I do very much respect the work of Daniel Ellsberg. Everyone does have the answer to existence by existings. Bingo! Read the comments below Justin Bieber's Yummy video. Yeah, I didn't read the comments. I don't know what that means. I'd have to see some proof there too. That's effed. Nice find. Which find was that? I missed that. Does Doomsday Clock follow daylight savings time? Oh, maybe the Darren Till thing. That's the audience sending me that by the way. All right, that's why it's awesome. You guys rock. Jeez. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it up unless I missed any super chats. Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Just flick off. Thank you for supporting this show all the time. Guys, I want to tell you about my Rockfin account. For free. You can go sign up and then follow me. I'd love to get to 500 followers. And for free, you get the regular content, not just my regular content, but a bunch of stuff. The Convo Couch, like I said. You got Nico House, you got Askren, you got Chael Sonnen, Jordan Burroughs, you got real wrestling, real Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you got free thinking media. It's something totally different. And it's based in crypto. So I think it's a really interesting venture that isn't Patreon, isn't Subscribestar, isn't, this stuff that everybody's doing. I don't have a Minds account. I don't have a float. I'm sorry. I think that I get it. There's a million different platforms out there, but I've got the belief in Rockfin. So go check it out. Again, you can sign up for free, and then if you want to go premium, you don't just get Jason Burmis' 5 videos a week. You get a bunch of other stuff as well. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm doing it 3 to 7 times a day here for free. And then I'm a documentary filmmaker. I believe in these films. These films stand up. I do I do watch-alongs with these movies with you guys so I can explain them and, add information. So please go check them out. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, and New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are all available free in the documentaries playlist section. And, hey, here it is. This is the GoFundMe. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. $100, $500. You like real information? You like me continuing to do it? This is how I'm doing it. I'll see you guys on the flip. Thanks again.